Donald Trump arrived back home from his trip to Scotland this week, but the flight home was not a very pleasant one. Because, as Donald Trump likes to do, he decided, hey, we're on Air Force One, we're in a closed environment. I'm going to pop my head out the little door, like I always do, and I'm going to take some questions from the press pool, right? Get my name in the headlines, have a little fun. It's going to be great because everybody loves talking to me. Well, Trump didn't have a good time of it, and he ended up snapping at two separate reporters for, believe it or not, asking him questions about the Epstein scandal that just a day earlier he had made so much worse for himself. So before I tell you what happened with him snapping at the reporters, let's remind everybody what Donald Trump admitted to the world. The reason he doesn't like Jeffrey Epstein is because Epstein stole some of his employees, including, according to Trump himself, a 17-year-old Virginia Giuffre, who, of course, was one of the primary and most well-known victims of Jeffrey Epstein. She tragically passed earlier this year, but she was kind of front and center, one of the few people willing to come forward publicly, be a witness of things. So she worked for Trump in Mar-a-Lago. He thinks in the spot. He's not sure. But he admitted that, this victim of human trafficking, she worked for me first, and then he stole her, and I said, don't ever come here again. And that's why he broke up with Epstein. So obviously, aboard Air Force One, reporters got some questions, right? I mean, this woman that basically left you and then ended up being a sex slave, what the hell was she doing with you to begin with, a 17-year-old working for you in your resort? Not that that's necessarily uncommon, but, that trajectory definitely is. So the first reporter asks him, Mr. President, you said yesterday your falling out with Jeffrey Epstein was because he was taking some of the workers from your business, but your administration in the past said you threw him out because he was a creep. So can you explain that discrepancy? And Trump said, well, they're the same thing, sort of a little bit of the same thing. But no, he took people that worked for me and I told him don't do it anymore. And he did it. And I said, stay the hell out of here. So the reporter says, so is that what you meant by being a creep? And then Trump said, who are you with? The reporter says, me, I'm in the travel pool, but I'm with NBC News. NBC, fake news. NBC's one of the worst. What else do you have? I know you don't like NBC, Donald, but the reporter was asking a legitimate question. A question that people wouldn't have had if you hadn't run your big, fat, orange, stupid mouth the day before. So that's important to remember. They wouldn't have even thought to ask this question because it wouldn't have been a thing had you not said the stupid admission that you did on Monday. So that's your fault. Don't get pissed at the reporter because you're a moron. And I wish that were the end of it, but it was not. Then CNN White House correspondent Caitlin Collins had the opportunity to ask Trump a question. And Caitlin Collins asked him, Mr. President, you said earlier that Jeffrey Epstein was stealing your young women. You said Jeffrey Epstein was stealing women from your spa. Did that raise alarm bells for you? And Trump, who of course knows who Caitlin Collins is, simply yelled at her, be quiet! And then he walked out of the room and closed the door. So again, this is a mess of Donald Trump's own making because he's a very stupid person. He ran his mouth about things that completely contradicted everything his White House had put out about Epstein. He made this worse himself, again, because he's a low IQ individual, to borrow one of his favorite insults. He's not intelligent. And I really want to hammer that point home. This is a very stupid man. I've compared him to the beginning of Forrest Gump, where they're showing Forrest Gump's IQ on the chart. Honest to God, I think that's where Trump is. So take from that what you will. That's my opinion, but based on what I've seen, not a smart person. However, he keeps making worse mistakes and making things worse. And he went in that little press room, opened the door, peeks his head out like he does. We've all seen the videos. And he's so excited, ready to talk to him, ready to get his free press. And then he ends up leaving pissed off because he's dumb. Because he didn't think for a second that these people were going to ask him about the bombshell he dropped on them the day before. That's how stupid he is. That's how vain he is and arrogant he is. He honestly, I believe honestly, opened that door expecting people to say, Donald, why are you so great? Why are you so gorgeous? Why won't you sleep with me right here, right now? Take me. That's what he thought was going to happen. Because his arrogance, his vanity, has made him genuinely one of the dumbest people on the planet. Thanks for watching, everybody. And if you're not already, please subscribe to the channel. We got fresh content every day for you. And if you want to follow us across social media, make sure you check out all of the social links that we have posted in the description of this video.